Well, those are highlights from matches played on Thursday in the ongoing African Under-17 Cup of Nations. A disappointing one for Nigeria, losing 2-1 to Burkina Faso, a result that signals the end to Nigeria's hopes of playing at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. Remember, Nigeria are record winners of the competition, but it will be disappointing that Nigeria will not be there later this year as the best of the world's global young football stars will gather in that FIFA Under-17 Mundial. Well, Paul Ogunlaja is a football scout and he joins us on the show to reflect on that disappointment for Nigeria at that very, very crucial Under-17 level. Paul, first and foremost, how did you receive that result last night? You had a lot of expectations. You have been following this team right from their participation at the WAFU tournament. Were you let down by their performance last night against Burkina Faso?
Oh, well, based on the performances that I saw during the WAFU and early hours of the World Cup, they've been doing well. I just feel that most of the boys began to play individual football. Most of them didn't listen to the coach enough, and our fullbacks were offensively minded and not defensively minded. So I think that cost us a lot because leaving the Burkina Faso's wingers just to express themselves fully. The head coach has tried, but it's a sad one that we're coming back from.
Who would you blame? I know it's very harsh to start blaming anyone at this point in time, but you just identified two major lapses in this team. The fact that the defenders were losing their concentration, it was actually responsible for one of the goals. They did concede a goal from a defensive error. They did concede a penalty as well. Would you blame the coaches for not instilling the discipline required at this level of youth football in these players? Would you blame the coaches for that?
In all honesty, I think the coaches have done their best. In terms of mental rehearsal, speaking to the players one on one, and it's football. Anything can happen. You in the big stage, you see the likes of the hair Maguire having one or two issues on the pitch. The young lad causing that penalty was to me. I thought it was not a penalty, but then it's a penalty. The referees they know best. And the boys tried to bounce back. That's the most important one. You could see that they wanted to win, but it's just hard luck on us.
All right, let's talk about the team now. What would be your advice about the team going forward? We've seen some young talent in this team. It's just that unfortunately they can't go further into the World Cup. But what would be your advice to the Nigerian Football Federation as regards this under-17 team?
I think this shouldn't be the end. There are other competitions that will come. If possible, you promote the under 17 teams to the U20s, U21s. Let it be a channel for these boys because at the end of the day, you see that some of these boys might not even be in the under 20 squad in the nearest future, which is quite sad. And most of them have done well from the WAFU stage to the World Cup, likes of Olalike, Agada Charles had a very good run. Linus, you see AK too. So the future is bright for these young lads. It's a pity that they're not going to get to the world stage, but I'm sure a lot of scouts have been looking at them, and Nigeria is the first to reform it.
All right, Paul, let's look beyond Nigeria's disappointing outstart and look at the competition itself. We have four teams in the semi-finals. Let's quickly confirm the semi-final appearance for you is Senegal will be taking on Morocco as well as Mali up against Burkina Faso. Those are the four teams that will be representing Africa at the World Cup. Three of them from West Africa, one from North Africa. There you have a confirmation of the fixture: Senegal, Burkina Faso, Morocco up against Mali. Which of these teams are you rooting for based on what you've seen at this tournament so far?
I think Senegal, of course, Senegal. Both their youth level and their senior level are doing very well, and that's because they've been camping this boy for a long while. They eat together, sleep together, wake up together. Or like the system that we have here in the country, I hope it changes with the new management involved now. Burkina Faso, I said them 2 years ago, 3 years ago, in the last waffle, that Nigeria won them 1-0. I knew that they were going to come back strong, and now you can see the results of them. That's because they're always staying together. And I feel the Moroccan team, I feel Nigeria had a better squad than them. They were just lucky with the goal. And Mali too is just fortunate to be in the semi-finals. So I'll be rooting for Senegal to go further in the World Cup and probably Burkina Faso too.
All right, of course, we'll be looking at how these four teams will be representing Africa. Paulo Gulaja, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, we're hoping that. But before we let you go, Paul, let's talk about the under-20 team. They're in Argentina. I know you have your eyes on the Flying Eagles as well. They'll be getting ready for the World Cup that starts in a few days from now. What are your expectations from Ladan Boso and his team?
Well, for what it's worth, you watch the names of the likes of Salim Fago, a clinical finisher, a wonderful finisher. I'm happy that he got it caught up to the under-20. Then you have the likes of those in the midfield, and in the defense. I'm sure everybody's going to do well. I have a feeling that they are going to go far this time around. Hopefully, win the trophy, and make Nigeria proud.
Amazing. Okay. Well, exciting action there from the Europa League and the Europa Conference League, where the semi-finals first leg matches were played on Thursday night. Let's have a confirmation of the results quickly on your screen. Juventus forced to a 1-0 draw by Sevilla. Sevilla, of course, are experienced campaigners in the Europa League, while AS Roma got a 1-0 win over Bayer Leverkusen, courtesy of a goal scored by a 20-year-old Eduardo Bove. Well, in the Conference League, West Ham United are flying the English flag so high. They came from behind to beat AZ Alkmaar of the Netherlands 2-1, while, of course, in Italy, Fiorentina lost 1-2 to Swiss side Basel. Of course, the second leg fixtures hold next weekend, and we expect that, of course, these teams will come out guns blazing to secure their place in the final. What a European season we've had. Paulo Gulaja is still standing by with us on Zoom to share his insights on the Europa League. Paul, let's start from Juve. The season started like it was going to be another shambolic one, but they've gathered their pace together. They crashed out of the Champions League, but they've pushed themselves into the semi-finals of the Europa League, and they're just one step away from glory. What would you say about Juve?
It's better late than never. You never know what will happen. I see them going into the finals and possibly getting one way or two there, but I don't see them winning. And at the same time, don't let us take it out from Sevilla. We know that when they are home and they have this Europa League jinx, and that once they are there, they are always going to win it. So I'll be happy to see Juventus in the finals, but then you can't write them Sevilla.
Well, there's a possibility of an all-Italian final in the Europa League. We saw an all-Italian semi-final in the Champions League during the week. And now there's a possibility of an all-Italian final, with Roma defeating Bayer Leverkusen 1-0 in the first leg on Thursday night. And there are talks that Jose Mourinho understands what it takes to play European Cup competitions. There are already reports linking it with PSG. That's a talk for another day. But do you think Roma can take this advantage and get to back-to-back European final with Jose Mourinho?
I think Jose is going to win it. He's my best coach ever after Sir Alex Ferguson. But I think Jose is going to win it. I think if Roma gets into the final, they are going to win the trophy because the guy just has style and he knows what he wants, and he's going to get it.
Absolutely, he knows what he wants and he knows how to get it. The Conference League is equally very interesting. West Ham United, they may be struggling in the Premier League, but they have their eyes on Europe. Do you think West Ham can eventually get this one? It looks good for them, you would say.
Yeah, I think that would be an automatic spot or slot to the Europa League, which is very good for them.
Okay, all right. We have to say a big thank you to you, Paul Ogulaja, football scout and analyst. Thank you for joining us on the show. And of course, we look forward to seeing you some other time.
Thank you very much.